This question was specifically to you, Dan.
Oh.
How do you make your hair so glorious?
Glorious.
Well, we have established the process in an earlier stream. If you watch the archives.
I think he wants a recap.
Yeah, no, it's a whole process. We don't need to go into it, but if you do so desire to have luscious locks like these, reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll give you the rundown. And maybe we'll do a little fashion blog here. Yeah. He's got great hair too. Look at this. I mean, we both have. All three of us have beautiful hair.
I'm just toe-headed.
Yeah. Live in the 90s.
Yep.
Whoa, dudes and dudettes, it's Dan Mitre, totally the community manager for DICE, here to talk to you about the latest patch to our game called the Prise De Tahure update, although I'm not quite sure I said that right.
Well, you know, they have that pronunciation thing on the website. See if that can help you.
So, I loved your pronunciation of Prise De Tahure. I obviously don't do very well, but I do want to put him on the spot. Doug, how would you pronounce what we see behind you?
I would say Prise De Tahure.
Yeah, okay. That's close. That's close.
Yeah.
What do you think it means?
Priest goes on tour.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. Priest goes on.
Anyways, even though this map is only available to owners of They Shall Not Pass DLC, it's required download for everyone because locking content behind a paywall that you already have on your hard drive is a DICE specialty. There's really no reason for us to lock this map off to just the premium players and not everyone because the map is basically Amiens but with the lights turned out, which is gnarly, man, because apparently all of you shit buckets like not being able to see shit and playing tactically, or just another word for camping your dick off. The fact that you could play as the French really doesn't matter because we've been able to play maps set in France without the DLC. However, for those plebs that don't have access to their mom's credit card, major bummer, Premium Trials is now live until Gamescom in mid-August, which means you can try it out, okay? This is because we found that people that play Battlefield are usually loners, so the Premium Friends program isn't as popular as we'd hoped for enticing people into paying for new beepity bops in a content-starved game. Well, now at least everyone will be able to get new shit instead of just the haves in spite of the have-nots. Oh, and don't you worry, premium players, we've got you covered with the map Lupkow Pass for the upcoming In the Name of the Tsar DLC, now available on the CTE, which is what you could see in the background. Tubular, man. It's too bad that because the consoles apparently have some standards, even though they're lower on hardware than a PC, there is no CTE yet for the Xbox One and PS4, only PC. Man, that stinks. Oh, and we didn't add any new weapons other than things to flail around with in an FPS, like the Arera Bow and Russian Axe. And since we're busy trying to stuff as much new content into our bare bones game as possible, we can't fix as much on a monthly basis, and that's why we decided to call this the Prise De Tahure update instead of the July update to stop reminding you of that. Staying on maps, we've now changed the map vote system so that the current map and previous map no longer show up at the end of round selection so that servers don't effectively turn into a 24/7 of the only good maps in the game. Far out. On Nivelle nights, in certain parts of the map, there was no out-of-bounds countdown overlay, so you'd be running, and just keel over and die a sudden death like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Man, that'd be pretty hysterical to watch. Oh, and instead of putting operations in the server browser like we should have done, we did a complete 180 and canceled the matchmaking when backing out of operations to prevent a blur effect from happening in the menus. So, we added drunk goggles effect in one case and took it away in another. That's crazy, yo. We also made some updates to the Rent a Server program to add more levers you could press if you give us your hard-earned dinero, like round limits, a high ping kick feature of greater than 100 milliseconds, which is less than the 150 millisecond threshold for leading shots, so that makes no sense, restricting the kit items to play with so you can create custom zombies games because that's all the rage with the cool cats nowadays, and an unlimited mags option, thus rendering the support players even more useless than they already are, even with the auto notification for low ammo on the screen. Features like auto balance, chat filtering, admins being able to move players between teams, and no player count to start are still in the works, even though they're the most important features that have been in other Battlefield games and should have been there from the start. But speaking of shit that should have been a launch feature, we added a battle pack progression meter instead of giving them out at random like Oprah, but it was slower than Evolution and Erosion at first and has since been updated to keep that carrot in front of your horse. We've also added a missing from launch mission tracker feature, so now you don't have to keep tally marks with a pen and paper the old school way. Dope. There are so many summer missions to get cool new swag, like another thing to use for melee in a shooter game, battle packs named after YouTubers, even though some of them have only uploaded 2 Battlefield videos in the past month, and why did we even have Nukem Dukem on our stream when he's only had 1 Battlefield video in the last month? Yes, people aren't posting our game anymore because just like the rent-a-server program, nobody gives a shit when you don't deliver a full game. Oh, but we got a plan to lure people back. Besides the premium trials, Battlefield 1 will be coming to EA and Origin Access, so it should flood the Xbox One and PC platforms with tons of noobs for you veteran players to shit on. We'll also be doing a free trial as well because free shit is rad, homie. Oh, and Battlefield games are on sale right now for all different platforms like Battlefield 4 and Hardline on the Xbox One for only $5 and Premium for only $13 for gold members. On the PS4, Battlefield 1 is 57% off, which is a number pulled out of their ass, kind of like our ping thresholds. And on the Origin store, Battlefield 1 is 60% off, but the Premium Pass is only 20% off because we still need to justify to our investors that we're getting them back somehow.
Listen, we're working with a world-class developer, DICE, and we do everything amazing.
Yeah.
So you can expect amazing things coming up here.